Good morning. I am here to talk about one of my very favorite super quick and easy um, gifts, or this could also be a really great market make. Okay, so without further ado, I am talking about these beautiful granny square earrings. So I'm going to talk through how I made them and how you can too. They turn out extremely well. They are just a double granny square, so 2 rounds, that's all it takes. Okay, so let me, without further ado, walk through the process. Okay, the first thing you'll need is yarn, and the size that I used is this we've got a bit of a glare, I apologize, Aunt Lydia's Classic 10. This is 100% cotton, and that is perhaps not critical, but a cotton rich yarn would work best because you are going to be blocking these in order to get that nice shape to hold. So this is what I used for those. So I did not do any any color changings, but I still got this beautiful effect. Yeah, these earrings, cannot tell you how many compliments I have every time I wear these, and now my teenager wears them and she gets compliments all over, and people always ask us, can you make me a pair? Can I buy a pair from you? I don't currently make physical products for sale right now, but if I did, that would be at the top of the list of things to sell, because it is really as easy as using this beautiful cotton. And then the hard part for those of us of a certain age is you're gonna almost assuredly need your reading glasses, because this is a tiny hook. This is a 1.5, did I just do that upside down? I apologize. A 1.5 millimeter. I mean, look at that bad boy. That is a teeny hook. And then the stitches are quite small, so it feels a bit fiddly in my opinion, but this is before I've blocked it or woven in the ends. And it is really a very small, this is about 1 inch. And when I finish blocking it, it gets to a little bit bigger. So just about grows maybe 1/4 of an inch. If you can see that, it doesn't grow much, but it grows a little. So I don't block this with just water. I block it with a combination of water and fabric stiffener. I believe I bought this at Joann's. It's got to be at least 10 years ago, because I don't use a ton of this, but I have used it exclusively for this Lydia's cotton. Used it for the earrings, and I've also done some snowflakes with it in the past, and I mix it with water because I wanted something that had the stiffness to hold the shape, but not so much that it crunched. So this is still a fairly flexible, like if it got bent against your face, it's not going to feel yucky. It's still going to feel like cotton. And that was a personal preference. If you wanted them to feel stiffer, you could definitely just use the fabric stiffener on its own. So you're going to need a blocking board of some sort. When I first started blocking, I didn't have the fancy foam pads with the pins. I just had a piece of cardboard, and I covered that piece of cardboard with packing tape. It was like double thick cardboard, and I covered it with packing tape so the items wouldn't stick to it. And I was making small things or blocking small things like these, or like a small snowflake ornament. So it was not a big deal to just use a double cardboard with packing tape around it, and it worked. So you don't have to have that. You do have to have the fabric stiffener. And then the other thing you will need to make these is the earring backs. These are available anywhere. I ordered a bunch of them from Amazon at one point, and you can get them in whatever metal makes sense for your recipient. I have people in my family with some, I apologize, better just take a sip, with some metal sensitivities, and so you may need to get silver, or gold would be super fancy. Whatever you need. Steel, I think these might be just stainless steel. and they're pretty inexpensive. I want to say less than $1 each. So between the very small amount of material, the very small amount of fabric stiffener, and your time, these are a really, really great, quick and easy make, and they have a huge impact. People love them. I wish I could tell you all of the compliments every time I wear them. And every time my teenager wears them, everybody is like, oh, I love those. Did you make them, or did your mom make them? Can she make me a pair? Can I buy some? And if I did ever start a market, these would be one of my top things. Aside from the fact that I'd have to crochet the whole thing with reading glasses, which that's not my favorite. I like making things that I can just do without looking, and these are pretty small. That's a pretty small gauge in there. I mean, you can just see, but it turns out beautifully. I tried on these to start at the same point in the colorway so that they look fairly similar. But even so, you can see that there is a little variation on where the color placement happened, and they still turned out absolutely gorgeous. So that is my maybe best, or one of my favorite things to make for people as a last minute gift. Anytime we've given them, they've been a huge hit. So if you do end up trying it, please let me know. I would love to hear what your success is. As for timing on how long this takes, I'm gonna go over this just a touch more. Okay, so I put maybe like a tablespoon of water in a bowl, and then I squeeze in some of this. I haven't ever measured it, but I would imagine that it's probably a 1-to-1 ratio of water to stiffener. And once that's good and mixed on its own, then before I do that, I weave in the ends, I trim it, it's ready. And then I dip it into the fabric softener and completely soak it. Like, it's got to get good and wet. And then when I pull it out, I just pin it in the 4 corners to kind of stretch it out. I also remember needing to pin, and I'll use this crochet hook to show you, that I needed to pin the 4 corners. So I did those first, and then I had to pin the sides as well. So I ended up doing like 1 or 2 pins on the sides just to make sure it was square and didn't kind of bow at all. But that was it. So it was pretty quick for pinning, and then I let it dry overnight. And once it's completely dry, I took it out and inserted the hook. Like, there was, you can use a bunch of different types of hooks on here. I tend to like the French clasp where it actually hooks at the back, as you can see, because I'm a person who things fall out of my ears if they don't connect. So every earring I have connects, because otherwise I've lost some of my favorites when they just had the hook in. But those would be pretty quick too. You might need the little wire pinchers to make those stay on, but this just connects into the top corner, and that's it. That's all there is to it. And these gorgeous earrings are always a big hit. So if you do end up making these, I would love to hear what people what the reception is from the people you gift them to, or if you make them for yourself, what people say when they see them. I've never worn them without receiving multiple compliments. So I would love to hear your response as well. If you're new here, I am Amber from Hearth and Hook, and welcome. Thank you for watching my YouTube.